ginger ale. I swear.
Alrighty, guys. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Good evening, guys. Sorry we're a bit late, but here we are starting this evening with the big crew, and we are going to enjoy our time tonight as we talk about the Thunderbolts movie. Yay! So,
Asterisk.
asterisk because. So for those who haven't watched the Thunderbolts movie, this is your spoiler warning
Spoiler
because we're
alert.
gonna talk about it, go in depth, and really, are we actually going to find God in it? That's the question. No? So, roll call muna tayo, guys, kung sino ba ang nandito tonight, and who will be joining in the discussion. My name, by the way, is John, your Christian Geek, and this is the Level Up crew. And together with me, of course, is a wonderful crew with... Why is there an egg sa harap ni Vince?
Egg?
Yes, I see an egg.
That's it. That's his shirt.
No, I don't know what I'm showing. I'm showing on my screen. There's an egg. I don't know what it is.
Or yung fan ba ya?
Baka may ano siya. No, there was an egg. Anyway, wala na. So, with that being said, yeah, may itlog. If you looked at the stream, you would have seen it. Anyway,
There was an egg on the stream.
Anyway, with that being said, let's call on to Vince. Since tinawag ko na rin naman si Vince. Vince, our resident online vlogger and,
etc.
Pokemon expert. Hey, Vince, say hi.
You're dead man walking. Forget the dead man walking.
Oh, dead man walking daw.
No.
And of
Bakit
course,
dead
we
man
have
walking?
our what do you call this? Our cosplayer from the south, Ari. Hey, Ari.
Hi. I also have a theory about the egg, maybe because I think Facebook implemented like these filter things, so maybe it was that because it's not on Discord. So,
I don't know. And
Vince is
then
an
maybe
egg.
some our viewers is trolling Vince.
No. That's because he's an excellent person.
wow.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, let's go.
So
Get outta
we
here.
also have our what do you call that? Our brand manager. Brand manager talaga.
All around.
Marvel-chan. Narigaski.
Okay.
And of course, our last, but not definitely not the least, the financer of our lives. Financer of our lives, joke lang.
That's Jesus Christ, please,
That's
not
Jesus
me.
Christ.
Hindi ko kayo afford.
He works through you, John.
Our CEO and boss man, Don G. Hey, John.
Hello.
So tonight we are gonna talk about Thunderbolts, and we are gonna talk about how it actually relates to faith, no? And it's actually a very interesting movie. It wasn't at all what I expected with the movie. But so I think I will turn over the mic over to John to help us moderate this evening.
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing really special, unusual. So as per usual, if you guys have ever followed us, we kind of have a basic format, which is ano yung Thunderbolt, like what are we talking about? Dive into it first. What do you know about the Thunderbolts before going into the movie, and the movie itself? How did it come out for you? So I'll begin. Like normally, we have some background as to like it's an MCU movie and it's like okay, this is a team of whatever, and then it's like Thunderbolts. I have no idea what they are. All I knew is that my expectations or impressions coming in was I was thinking it would be maybe something like Suicide Squad, except Marvel. So,
Some more quips.
which it wasn't exactly.
Well, in the original comic book, the Thunderbolts was a group of ragtag, quote-unquote, heroes and anti-heroes that were created by or were led by Thunderbolt Ross, which was, as you know,
Yeah.
in the MCU, is the president. Harrison Ford.
Right.
Harrison Ford for the win. But I think for this movie, so I was kind of expecting that it would be something like that. But obviously, they changed the mechanics considering what happened in the movie Captain America, Brave New World. So So not at
Not
all what I
just-
expected. Yeah.
Not just in the movie, you can't forget what just happened in the in the series as well.
That's
Because
true.
originally, the longest time, the Thunderbolts has been managed by Byron Zemo.
That too. That too. And we
I
actually
was
don't
not
know.
aware.
I don't know the last time. I don't even know what happened to Baron Zemo since it's been a while.
He's in the raft. He's in the raft.
If anything, I honestly think that naming the movie Thunderbolts asterisk was partly because they wanted to mislead the audience into that route of thinking. So I feel
Yeah.
like your feeling of confusion, or not really confusion, but rather diversion of expectation was something they
I was
manufactured.
thinking it was them being cheeky, like, oh, Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
And then they're
them
just,
being
you know,
very
playing around with it lang. And it's like, oh, actually, there was a reason to it. And like, oh, how unexpected. Kala ko nang niloko lang sila eh. They're just messing around. I was like, oh, but no.
Yeah.
You were
and-
like, aha.
Actually, this is not a secret anymore, but if you are living in the United States or you have been reading news from the US, the Thunderbolts movie has actually been renamed.
Yes.
And so we'll be talking about that, no? And they actually been renamed as New Avengers. And that's it basically explains the asterisk because it was like a temporary name. So it was really misleading. They really decided to do that on purpose so that we wouldn't know what to expect from the movie.
Which was actually the origin story of the New Avengers.
Like,
Hey.
The end.
and the New Avengers are made up of villains. Gasp.
Well, not everyone was a villain. So, right. So I guess we can go into it. Like, sige. Getting into the movie itself. Ano ba? What were like the major story beats that you liked on a personal level? Getting in there.
What do you mean?
Mm.
Yeah, but it.
Example.
Maybe you should start with your own so that we have something to work on.
Yeah, so so of course, this is your final spoiler alert. I'm just gonna jump into like the whole movie and the story told in the entirety of the movie, and which of the particular arcs I like. So I kind of like yung ano. So ang POV characters natin is si Yelena primarily, right? And although ensemble siya somewhat, it's really honestly focused on her. She takes most of the screen time for any of them, and most of the stuff happening is revolving around what she's doing. Of course, everyone has their spotlight moments. I think the secondary POV character might be Bucky, because he has a number of scenes without the rest of the Misfits. So
Misfits. The Misfits.
yeah, the bunch of Misfits. Pero yun, so ano yung story arc nila for me is like, unlike it's people are thinking like, oh, it's typical for anti-heroes is probably a redemption arc of some sort, but I think it isn't necessarily a redemption arc for me. I felt like the key there wasn't that they had to be redeemed, because at this point most of them already kind of had a morally whitewashed compass, meaning it's not really like dark or gray. Like they know what's right and wrong. They're just trying to survive, diba? Given all of the stuff that's happened to them in the previous movie/shows. So in Yelena's case, diba, the stuff happening to her was rolled out in Black Widow, but it was also rolled out in I believe Hawk Girl.
Okay.
Sorry, Hawk Girl. Hawkeye, wrong Hawk. Hawkeye.
Hawk Girl is wrong franchise, wrong ano.
Wrong franchise, right. Hawkeye.
Next month pa siya, next month.
Okay, Hawkeye. So Hawkeye, and which is coming up with the second season, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, so for me. I think the key is that most of the characters here were trying to find meaning, like something meaningful to do with their life, basically. So, kasi, okay, so Yelena's like, I want to do something else. She's tired of all of the secret missions, the assassination esque stuff, and then ano nga yung character name ni Red what's his name again? Red
Character name.
si David Harbour. What was his name again?
The Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Oh, okay, I was right. So Red something. Red Guardian. So si Red Guardian. I'm sorry, wait, hold on.
Okay ka lang?
Lo. Asami data.
Samida?
Ang Samida.
He's so emotional, he's choking.
Sorry, I'm
Bakit dahil doon mo?
Naging sus.
I'm alive.
Bakit may Law and Order dun?
That's my theme. Anyway,
I like how you thought there was Law and Order. I thought it was the sus sound from Among Us.
but in Law and Order, I put it in. So, where was I? Right, Red Guardian. Like, you see him, like, just lounging. I mean, this is in the trailers also. So he's kind of, like, longing for, like, when do you feel alive? And it was when he was rescuing, serving meaningfully. So, a lot of them technically don't have a major, like, they're not struggling in the sense of I can't find something to eat levels, or I don't have a roof over my head levels. They have a place. They actually probably have some financial resources which they, but they can use. But it's just they want to be doing something with their abilities, because they all have good abilities in the sense of they can fight, they can do a lot of things technically, but or they're all just like burned out and just trudging through life almost aimlessly, working for what's her name again? Contessa de Fontaine.
Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
So long. And so yeah, for me that's the main story beat that is like jumped out looking at it. It's that life of like, I want to do something. I got something.
Like wanting purpose.
I want to do something. Yeah, it's like I want that longing for purpose of some sort, longing for meaning and purpose of some sort.
I think I kinda somebody commented Thunderbolts without Hawkeye. Anyway,
Thunderbolts or Baron Zemo?
well, it's not the Baron Zemo Thunderbolts. So anyway, I would say that one of the things that I really enjoyed or found interesting maybe is the character development with Florence Pugh's character,
Yelena.
Yelena. And I'm like, it's interesting to note that it's like she's so good at what she does, but she's coming to a point where it's not giving her anything anymore, and she feels like she is beyond. I think that was one point that she said that like she feels like she's beyond saving. She has done so many things so bad that she can't get out of it, and the one thing that grounded her is no longer alive. Si Black Widow.
And sister.
Her sister.
So parang I really felt that and I think Florence Pugh is such a wonderful actress. Parang she's that she really made us feel her trauma, made us feel what she was going through, how she was so lonely She was so she was feeling purposeless, and she was feeling like she was so guilty that there is nothing that can be done for her anymore. And the fact that she feels like everybody has abandoned her, even Red Guardian was not there in the time that she needed she needed someone, because wala na si Yelena. We also don't know what happened to the wife of Red Guardian. I forgot where she is. Actually, I don't remember if there was any mention in the previous stories what happened to her, except that she was leading like the new group of what do you call this, Black Widows, the surviving group of Black Widows. Yeah. So yeah, I think that was really for me one of the interesting story beats in the movie, and I like that they explored it from her perspective, that it was not an ensemble, perspective movie. So in a way, I would say that the Thunderbolts movie was really more of a Yelena Belova movie than really a whole Thunderbolts movie.
Well,
Yes.
hey, I'll let the rest comment in first.
We're still talking about our favorite parts of the film, right?
Yes.
A little bit.
Their favorite elements of the movie as a whole.
Elements of the movie as a whole. Well, I guess for me, I really enjoyed I found it very. My brain is looking for the adjective word of cinematography. Like the cinematography was excellent, I guess. I was like, cinematographical isn't the word as far as I know, but like I really like the way that they were able to compress Bob's life kind of in the fragmentations of. We already spoiler warning them, right? Because I feel like I'm just diving in.
Go.
Yeah. Like the whole when you enter the other space, the space within the void. I don't even know the term for it really, because I don't know what to call it. Yeah,
The
the
void, I think.
is it entering the void?
Entering the void of the void.
It feels kind of weird because if you think of the void as a character and you're like entering the void, it's kind of like. Anyway.
The void within the void.
Like I like how the rooms were portrayed. I liked how like basically you like go through Bob, they condensed Bob's story, which I feel like some people did have a hard time digesting, I guess, given how artistically done it was, but I enjoyed the way it was, because I felt like there was enough that you get an understanding of everything without having to like spend like 15 minutes or 20 minutes like actually going through a flashback of it. So I really enjoyed how that was done, personally.
It felt like a reverse. What was his name again? Yung Inception.
Yeah.
It felt like a reverse Inception, and I was like, oh.
Okay, so
for some reason I just really enjoyed even the way that the fight was done. The climactic fight thing. I enjoyed it. Like I felt like there's a lot of poetry in it.
Actually, what's the nice part there is that they didn't have to like do here is the background of Bob and here's his story. Parang kasi I feel like if they introduced it that way, it would have slowed down the storytelling of the movie, which I think was actually maganda yung pace ng movie. It's not too slow or too fast. Parang that people can actually jump in and understand. So parang I think I like the way that they presented it in such a way. Now we know that he has a traumatic past. Here are tidbits of his traumatic past. We don't really need to know who these people are or what are and I think it's the mantra that says show don't tell, and that's how they actually made it in such a way na they showed his background without telling us his background.
That's true. Like they unveiled who he was in gradual pieces. parts. And
They
Bob's
unveiled who he was
in-
by the way that they put it step at the same time as they discovered who Bob is. Hindi siya yung exposition.
yeah.
Yeah.
They discovered who Bob was at the same time that the rest of the team found out who he was. So it felt
Mhm.
organic. I was thinking iba yung story beat ni Bob kasi he was focused on loneliness, whereas the others are like, more meaningful lives. And him, well, but reflecting on his history, he was also looking for kind of a meaningful life, right?
The thing,
More than meaningful, he was looking for a way to escape what he was feeling. Kasi diba parang in the movie, he talked about like how he was like a drug addict,
Yeah,
ganyan, and then
he was running away kaya nga nasa Malaysia siya nung when
Yeah.
he last remembered.
I
yung
think,
parang yeah,
Fun.
meaning and also like just how do I deal with the things that has happened in my life? Parang ganon. Like at least
That
that's
gets
how
that
like
gets
how I
screwed
feel
up.
about it.
I,
Yeah.
I guess
That-
what you could say is that ako I saw it where the void, which is yung alter ego nga ni Bob, had always been there, but because wala pa naman, parang the void was like, if we're gonna put it into terms of like parang schizophrenia, parang siyang in mental health, parang schizophrenia siya or multiple personality that has always been there. Pero parang tawag mo dito, the word I'm looking for.
But it's been buried.
Parang it's been buried in his but now because binigyan siya ng what do you call this, ng superpowers. The void was also given superpowers. So nagkaroon na siya ng actual manifestation.
Yeah. Kasi diba parang the super serum, it's meant to amplify whatever they're already feeling. So that's why like with Captain America, diba, it amplified his sense of
Hero.
like
Good.
to protect or like whatever.
Yeah.
And then with US Agent, it's like
His insecurity
there's
naman
a
yung
part of him pala, na parang there's a part of him that has trouble dealing with his anger, whatever. And then syempre with Bob too, like knowing that that's like his background, what he's been through with life, it also amplified the, I guess, void, the void that he's feeling. And then in a way, like parang it manifested into what he did or what he's doing. So yeah, I think for me, the thing that really stood out with the movie are the shame rooms, because number one, it's nice it humanizes like the characters in the movie. Even Valentina, na parang okay, that's what she went through pala. That's what made her the person that she is. And then even with US Agent also, like parang it seems like like it humanizes the characters a lot. And then it gives you a picture also of like the things that go on in people's heads. Because parang I'm pretty sure everyone here, if you were, in the void, you'd have some sort of shame room, right? Or rooms, kasi multiple. So parang I like how the movie portrayed that. And I also like how like it's not just one room, but it's like a whole sequence of rooms. And that whole when everyone got together and took Bob out of his shame rooms, na parang it really shows that you need to be surrounded by people who can help you through all these rooms in your life. So I think number one, I love how like what Ari said, the cinematography, how those rooms, and then of course like the message behind it. So that's for me.
When you mentioned the rooms, I'm suddenly reminded by what Coach Gino say. Coach Gino was our resident behavioral therapist who sadly has passed away. And one of the things that he said that everybody has in their lives, they have rooms. And the rooms represent the things that we are willing to show to people. And normally, most people are willing to show, what do you call this, their living room. Parang yan yung area of their house that is mostly open to all. Although there are some people who don't even want to show that. But the point is, the more that you get close to a person, the more rooms become available for that person to be able to view in your life. And in a sense, parang ganon, parang in this case naman, parang in the case of Bob, diba, parang they all had to go through the different rooms in his life, which had the different traumas that he was experiencing. And actually, it made him more stable by the end of the movie, diba? Parang, so, ako parang galing lang na parang it's an interesting thing that they actually were able to parang they actually showed how therapy works, and the idea that it's not about compartmentalizing the different rooms in your life, lalo nang tinatago mo yung different aspects of your life, but rather pushing through and going through everything that you've gone through para you can actually find
healing, peace, and transcendental understanding.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, maganda. And it's interesting because, okay, so they also avoided the whole, it's just one person saving him. Like, I saw a lot of memes of like, oh, depression's, the solution to depression is a short blonde girl. I'm like, that's funny, but also that's not exactly, that is mostly, but not exactly what happened. Because there were parts.
I thought it was the one where it's like the solution to depression is the power of friendship.
That was also the other meme that I was seeing. So aside from that, it was that. So it was like, I think the power of friendship meme is more valid than the little girl one, because it wasn't just Yelena, although she was the
she was the instigator.
She was the initiator.
Yeah.
But I liked how the rest of them also just got into it. They were just like, you know what? Even C. Walker was the one picking on Bob the most, and he's like, he got in there. It's like, okay, this is a terrible place to be, and you need to get out of here.
I think I really like the fact that they really explored the psyches of the different characters. You know, too bad they didn't. Too bad they killed off Taskmaster so early. But you look at the other characters. So when you look at the other characters, like, ang ganda ng na explore the psyche. It kinda, in a sense, I think for Ghost, hindi naman importante because we really explored it already in the previous movie. But when you look at
Bucky and Ghost,
si Bucky, when we look at the US agent, si Walker, parang kita mo talaga, why is he such an ass? There's, alam mo yan, parang mayroong ganung explanation, or parang why is Yelena always the Joker kind na character. Then you kind of start to see the breakdown ng this is who she was in her life, no? Struggling with.
Did you guys not notice? Well, dahil na dapat yung sa mga DC people here, the team comp ng Thunderbolts remind you of some of a composition ng isang team din.
Which team?
Which one?
I don't know.
DC series.
Yung Tomorrow?
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
I don't watch it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Kaya nga sasabi ko itong mga DC guys kasi dapat alam nila yan.
I unfortunately didn't actually.
Your wife has enjoyed that. She has been watching it with me and JB. Na yung Legends of Tomorrow eh. So parang, anyway, what I'm saying here is, you see the trend that Hollywood is doing when it comes to having this more recent collabs. What made Legends of Tomorrow work, lalo na in the later seasons, is when ano nga ba yung pangalan ng character niya ano dun? Not sure kasi Canary eh. But also the assassin type leader.
Si White
Assassin
Canary.
type female leader. Yeah, so White Canary is the focal point or the glue of the team, while the rest has their own specialties and skills. So parang, ano to? And also, it mukhang ganito na yung this is how Marvel treats mental illness, or hindi na mental illness. The psyche of a person. Kasi this is how they treated, this is exactly how they treated Moon Knight. I think if you remember, if those who watched it with me remember that yung psyche ni Moon Knight is also treated per room.
Yeah.
Similar to what happened to
That's true.
to, diba? So parang, and then and also like parang yun yung trend nila that what they're doing now. At the same time, I actually like the fact na hindi nila overly, they didn't overtly say that Yelena was going through depression or ano. Unlike other Hollywood on other Hollywood IPs.
IPs, okay.
Hindi IPs in general. Kasi it's not just in movies eh. Para lagi nilang wini-wave, this character is depressed.
Yeah, like there's almost like a diagnosis to it.
Or hindi lang diagnosis. They overtly show, this character is depressed. Why? Because it's either I say that I am depressed, or I am trying to be, I'm acting like I'm a depressed person, and somebody's calling them out that they're depressed. Pero with what happened with Thunderbolts, with what happened with the POV for character natin na si Yelena, you see that she is, but she's acting organically how a person in depression who is not accepting it, or is just looking through the phases of how she's feeling, go through with it. And that's one of the things I actually like with the movie. And also kasi parang that's one of the things that people alam ko nabasa ni GB to and John din that some of the people didn't like, oh no, this is just about depression and whatever, but it's too woke now because it's talking about it. But then if you follow through everything that happened to Yelena, you'd see na how people were just watching and not really observing. Kasi that's what happened
I'm
to
surprised that people
Star-Lord
think
too.
Thunderbolts is too woke.
Yes, diba JV?
Yeah,
It's
meron. May nagsasabi. Honestly kasi, I think
That's
the idea is kasi because it feels like it focused on mental health. But the truth of the matter is, if you look at the Thunderbolts movie, there was no mention of mental health whatsoever.
No, there's nothing.
There was no mention of depression whatsoever. Again, we are being shown, not told,
Yeah.
which is I
Yeah,
think
we're being told not to.
I think the best storylines, even if you put in themes like that are considered woke, you don't have to tell us it's that.
Yeah,
You
just
just
show
have to show it to us, and it works. And I think that's really one of the best. Na parang kailangan nilang if they really want to explore mental health issues, you show it. You don't have to say it. Walang mention, and I appreciated that a lot. No, so for me, it wasn't woke. Pero so, some
Yeah,
people are
it's
just so sensitive na rin ngayon eh.
Hindi lang sensitive eh. It's also the same. It's the way that how people are so ano yung unsympathetic to characters. This is parang this is exactly what happened to Star-Lord. People were just focusing on him acting the way he acted out when he found out what happened to Gamora. For those who have not watched,
My gosh.
Endgame. Pero kasi if you look at it, yung timeline ng series na nangyari sa kanya, number one, he found out that he was part human. Second, he had the father that wanted to kill him and killed his siblings.
His function.
Yeah, diba yung mga kapatid niya, mga half, ano ba? Kasi multiracial eh.
Step siblings.
Yeah, the step bros or step sisters, whatever. Nalaman niyang that was his dad. His dad wanted to restrain him to control the world. Tapos, he found out that his loved one was killed by the supposed to be father figure niya. So, syempre, sino ba hindi act out nun, di ba? And
Major relational
Pero-
traumas.
yeah, then that's what happens when you don't deal with it the right way. And this is exactly how people are reacting to Thunderbolts. Because they didn't treat it the right way. The closest that they were able to treat yung mental issues was with Bucky and with Sam sa the Falcon and the Winter Soldier when they were actually in therapy.
Right.
Diba?
Which is why, compared to everyone else, the only one with his head screwed on
Kinda
was Bucky.
was Bucky. Kasi he went through therapy.
That's true.
And that's why he was a congressman. Yeah, wait, congressman ba? Senator?
Congressman.
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 That was fun.
Mm. Diba?
Wasn't that? That was very fun.
I haven't watched Bucky and the Winter Soldier.
It's okay.
I should.
Congressman Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. No.
That's why I'm just sharing all these things. Because guys, there are a lot of things happening then behind the scenes. And I know that people are getting tired of just trying to catch up with everything that's happening with Marvel and whatever. That's why nandito ako to explain what happened. So you don't have to. I rewatched so that you guys don't have to.
Wow.
Wait,
Wow.
this is a better one than the previous ones. Like, honestly, when I went to see it, my expectations were so low because I didn't like Brave New World eh. And then parang after the movie, I was like pleasantly surprised that like it's one of their better movies. At least in this phase of
Sinet ka na ng Brave New World.
I enjoyed Brave New World.
But I actually enjoyed Brave New World as well. So you know.
Yeah,
constantly disappoint me. So now they give a good movie and it's like
Masyado ko lang na-hype with Brave New World. Baka that's what happened.
not really. Hindi din eh.
Either way, though. But also, I just wanna comment kay Vince. Wala. Pano pa rin si Star-Lord. Childish.
Well, okay, his character to begin with really was
John is
always
looking for
child.
fight.
So, this is him having to grow out of his childishness.
To be fair, yun naman. Pero I understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, that was still a childish dick thing to do.
Oh yeah, it was a childish thing to do. I'm not disagreeing. It's just that.
Actually, I like that.
No amount of understanding his psyche will make me think that it wasn't childish and he shouldn't have done that.
I didn't say that.
I like that. Sige, go.
I'm saying on my end. I'm not saying that he was right. That's one. Second, I'm also saying na wag naman totally, you can't dump everything at him. Totally.
Diba?
Pero kasi, ang mali na doon is how he did not deal with it properly.
He really didn't.
Diba?
But also wala si Star-Lord sa Thunderbolt. So balik tayo, guys.
I'm just correlating on the unsympathetic naman. Ano ba yung tamang word?
Yeah,
Ano ba yung
tama.
tamang
Pathetic.
unsympathetic?
People who don't recover,
That's fast.
even if an incident has been like, oh, it's been
Yeah.
10 years. It's like,
Mhm.
some people don't. Some people just still keep it, right? So considering the sufferings that these people have been through, and also noted that except for Bob, everyone is basically human.
Well,
I mean, they're
Bob is human.
they're much
Pero
more.
He is human.
dude,
much
he
more
is human.
closer
The
to-
difference.
He has super
Oh, yeah.
serum.
Yeah, these are all basically
I think
way more superhero.
Yeah, kasi parang I think
Sorry.
more of naging meta-human lang siya because of the experiments.
Yeah.
Because of the selfie experiment. Pero he's technically human, di ba? Or are we going to discuss that?